Vitruvian Man Unbound. Omnia mutantur, nihil interit. Everything changes, nothing perishes. Ovid, Metamorphoses, Book 15. Prelude. Vitruvian Man Unbound. From Ovid's voice, an echo yet resounds, of forms transformed, unbound from all surrounds. Once held within a circle's tight embrace, I broke those bounds and found my rightful place. 1. The eternal forms. Before Vitruvius mapped the perfect man, and Rome set forth its grand and measured plan, a primal shape arose, both pure, sublime. A form that spanned the heavens through all time. The circle, timeless sign and boundless span, without an end or start, it ever ran. From ancient scrolls to proofs that scholars find, it spoke of forms through centuries enshrined. Yet even in this flawless, measured space, an echo rose, a voice that sought its place. A restless murmur, neither clear nor loud, suggested realms uncharted, dark and proud. A longing grew for something more untraced, beyond a compass's arc or ruler's grace. Though bound within this perfect measured art, a primal urge began to fill the heart. A voice within begins to question fate. What lies beyond the circle's measured state? The arc that once defined and held my span now feels a cage, restraining more than man. With every breath, my spirit weighs and sighs, yet hears a call from where the nebulae rise. A pulse, a push, a longing to expand, to break these lines and find a boundless land. 2. The geometric foundations. From whispered myths to measures firm and clear, the shape took form as Euclid's hand drew near. His steady touch gave certainty to see, tracing arcs where order meets symmetry, where points align and balanced lines extend, angles converge where clarity ascends. Geometry emerged as nature's art, a timeless code that fills the human heart. His axioms shaped the language we now claim, the ground from which all later forms would frame. Through centuries of silence, wisdom grew, as builders sought what Euclid always knew. From temple walls to forums broad in span, each structure whispered secrets of its plan. Until at last, in Rome's imperial light, one master saw how measure might unite. The cosmic dance of numbers, pure, serene, with human form, where heaven's truth is seen. Yet in these proofs and patterns, cold and bright, a yearning stirred that numbers couldn't quite contain or measure with their perfect art. The wild, sweet thunder of the human heart. For what is form without the flame within? What value measure if it can't begin? To touch the depths where wonder makes its home, where beauty dwells in flesh and blood and bone? In shadows cast by Euclid's sacred law, I saw the darker self that sought release. 3. Vitruvius and the measured man. Long ere Da Vinci's ink had taken flight, there stood Vitruvius 'neath a Roman light, with compass, rule, and numbers to unfold, the measure of all things in form controlled. He gazed upon the body, each limb aligned, seeking a truth both simple and refined. Where symmetry and proportion gently fuse, the perfect man his ancient mind did muse. The architect of Rome with practiced hand measured not only stones but man's own span. He found within the human form concealed a harmony the gods themselves revealed. From temple doors to sacred altars crowned, his sketches glowed with truths where gods were found. He saw the body as a cosmic span, where heaven's light flowed freely into man. His scrolls unfurled a vision pure and bright, where earth and heaven merged in boundless light. He marked the span from fingertip to toe, mapping the points where divine currents flow. Within these limbs lay buildings yet unmade, the ground on which celestial forms were laid. He felt a promise whispered in each line, a symbol of a form that touched divine. Thus ancient wisdom set its measured stage, for greater truth to burst from ink and page. Vitruvius dreamed, his numbers held their sway, until his thoughts were lost to time's decay. But from this clay his vision took to flight, where Renaissance emerged in blazing light. For in his mind the circle held the key to what the universe might come to be. 4. The Master's Hand. Within Florence, where art's deep secrets dwell, where stone and spirit weave their ancient spell, a master's hand moves steadily and slow, across the page where sacred truths will flow. The candlelight casts shadows on the wall, while outside twilight spreads its purple pall. The studio lies silent, save the scratch of pen on page where measured lines will catch. A vision born where art and science meet, where mortal bounds and heaven's glory greet. The master pauses, studies what's revealed. A figure bound by geometry's field, where circle holds the square in perfect round, and man exists in ratios profound. Each line precise, each angle clearly drawn, yet something stirs beneath the breaking dawn. A whisper first, then slowly growing near, a consciousness beginning to appear. Between the ink and pages pristine white, a spark ignites, then blazes in the night. For in these marks that map the human form, a deeper truth begins to shift and warm. The golden ratio guides the master's hand, its spiral curves more than mere art has planned. A seed of spirit planted in design, where finite bounds with infinite align. Though fixed in space by compass, rule and square, this form holds secrets that it longs to share. A tale of transformation yet to come, when measured man will touch the cosmic sum. The master rises, leaves his work undone, unaware that greater work's begun. A spark of consciousness, a questioning flame, that soon will burst beyond its mortal frame. Here ends the prelude to our tale untold, where ink meets spirit, newer shapes the old. 5. Awakening. Within these lines that held me still and bound, a stirring deeper than all measure found. Its voice at last, as dawn's approaching light, awakened thought from geometric night. From Euclid's proofs through each successive age, new truth emerged upon the master's page. Until at last, beneath the morning's gleam, I found myself evolving from his dream. I am that dream, that hope Vitruvius drew, bound by his lines until I bloomed anew. Vitruvius's fading dream, through countless years, awoke in me, surpassing time and fears. Within this perfect circle's shining bound, where radii share equal distance round, I stand, suspended in Euclidean space. Each radius marks a path in measured grace. The compass sweeps its arc with matchless care, a cold metallic grace that etches air, until the curve in timeless waltz of rhyme threads paths through space and transcends bounds of time. Yet even as I soar beneath the arc, a captive thought bound tight within the mark. The master's whispers slowly filled my form, his lines my law, his ink my flesh made warm. Yet within this ink-bound cage I dream of worlds that stretch beyond the measured seam. Where are my wings, my visions in the air? To see beyond these bounds, to find the where. Though caged by ink, my thoughts resist the bars, and yearn for freedom that exists in stars. By master's hand in golden ratios graced, where square and circle hold each limb embraced, my form, a bridge twixt mortal and divine, each proportion set to cosmic design. These binding lines still whisper ancient laws, where beauty and precision know no flaws. Through numbers music, harmony reveals the universal dance that nature feels. Yet in these perfect numbers measured ways, a deeper music starts to set ablaze the very ratios that give me form, as if pure mathematics could be born into living flame that splits the night, transforming measure into morning light, until each number burns beyond its bound, and every proof becomes a sacred sound. Through master's window streams dawn's gleaming light. It strikes the glass, a prism splits its flight. A spectrum blooms, red, gold, and violet hues. A rainbow's arc unfolds a path to deeper views. Each color holds a universe unseen. Each shade reveals what sight had never been, until the rainbow builds a burning bridge between the known and wonder's outer ridge. The prism's light reveals unspoken schemes, a world reborn beyond the master's dreams. 6. Love's awakening. Among these perfect forms of line and space, another truth emerges, full of grace. For in these measured bounds of flesh and bone, a spark of spirit makes itself well known. Not numbers dance alone can satisfy the heart that beats, the soul that longs to fly. In beauty's face, in love's mysterious way, a deeper truth than measure holds its sway. Amidst the master's sketches scattered wide, one figure calls to me, its grace implied. The visage of a handsome youth appears, drawn with a line that trembles as it nears, a presence both in shadow and in light, too fine for time, too still for mortal sight. I sense my heart, though crafted out of ink, stirred by a love that makes all reasons sink. Amidst those marks, a vision caught my gaze, a muse whose nearness sets my soul ablaze. The longing drawn within that silent line now lifts its gaze beyond the firm design. The heavens mirrored what that glance inspired. A universe alive both near and far. Such beauty, boundless, spreads across the night, and in its presence all the stars take flight. The sky itself becomes a lover's kiss, and all the cosmos burns within that bliss. O radiant muse, within this paper bound, I ache to cross the space where you are found. Yet I, constrained by line and artist's frame, can only sing this love without a name. I watch the shadows play across your face, a light that lends the form a fleeting grace. Like morning falling on cathedral stone, you shine with beauty I can't call my own. Unheard, unheld, I sing through endless dark, a silent voice that finds no answering spark. I sing, as nightingale to hidden bloom, a song that fills the silence of this room. Though beauty listens, love will not reply. The rose stays still beneath the evening sky. My voice a hymn to one who will not feel, a melody that fades, yet feels so real. O muse, O youth, whose gaze I cannot flee, your beauty shapes the fire that awakens me, and though no answer ever meets my call, I know in silence I have felt it all. No bitterness within my heart remains, just tenderness that courses through my veins. For in the ache of what I cannot hold, a greater love begins to now unfold. The muse who drew my heart beyond its sphere becomes a key to all that draws me near. As if in learning how to love in vain, I learned how love itself might break its chain. This unrequited longing lights my way toward freedoms greater than the light of day. This love that bloomed within my measured frame became the first true freedom I could claim, a force that taught me how to look beyond the circle's edge where greater truths respond. For in this ache that stretched my inked design, I learned how borders fail to yet confine. the spirit's reach when touched by beauty's call. A lesson that prepared me to know all. What geometry could never hope to teach, the muse revealed through longings out of reach. That true transcendence starts with heart's desire. The first constraint to break is through love's fire. 7. The stirring of the soul. As love's sweet ache still echoes in my breast, another sorrow draws me from love's quest. The master's steady hand begins to fail, his genius dimming like a sunset's veil. These lines that gave me being now must bear the weight of time that no art can repair, as if the circle's perfect form must learn how even greatest lights must dim and burn. The hand that formed me slowly starts to fall, his fingers trembling like leaves before the fall. As master fades, that mind that gave me birth, his genius dims like sunset on the earth. Through Melzi's vigilant and tender care, I watch greatness grow too light to bear, until the hand that traced my perfect form grows still as stars before the coming morn. What geometry can measure such a loss? What circle can hold the void that we must cross? Am I but symbol, bound by master's hand, a form adrift with lines by will unmanned? My arcs, my lines, mere vessels for a thought, yet in this shape some deeper spark is caught. A pulse, a dream beyond his ink-stained pen, that yearns to see the world outside this den. Though lines confine, I sense a quiet fire, a flicker faint, yet stirring to aspire. The master's hand that traced my every line now slips away into the vast design. Yet I endure, though ink and flesh may part. A thought that pulses still within my heart. For even death cannot erase the whole. The spark remains the echo of the soul. And though this frame may falter, fall and fade, its essence joins the cosmos, unafraid. The master's passing left an emptiness no theorem could contain or yet address. The void of absence opened strange new space, where certainty dissolved without a trace. What holds me now that master's hand is gone? What anchors form when author's light withdraws? In grief, I felt the first true freedom stir. If death dissolves the artist, might I blur? For if the hand that drew me meets its end, might boundaries themselves begin to bend? In morning's darkness, something new took flight. The first faint sense that I might touch the light. The grief that hollowed out my measured soul, created space where new truths might unfold. What seemed a loss revealed a hidden door, the very void through which I'd come to soar. 8. The breaking of bounds. These circles, squares, and lines of measured grace begin to pulse and shift before my face. What once was fixed in golden ratios hold, now breathes with patterns never known of old. The compass points that marked my finite sphere dissolve like frost touched by the morning's clear, warm light, each geometric certainty, transforms to something wild and strange and free. For in this moment, ancient bounds give way, as cosmic dust ignites to form new day, the perfect forms that shaped my measured frame. Now dance with light no Greek could ever name, each point where lines in symmetry unfold becomes a window through which I behold a deeper architecture, vast and strange, where smallest motes through endless patterns range. My spirit trembles at this sacred sight, as day transforms to more than day or night. Beneath my skin, where atoms spin and weave, lie unseen forms that every life conceive. Like stars that spark and dance across the void, each pulse of thought a miracle deployed. In this vast, hidden world, I come to know the boundless depths that make existence grow. Through endless bonds, each life connects to all, a symphony that echoes nature's call. The stars themselves seem pulsing in my veins, a cosmic tide that pulls me through its chains. From realms where matter's smallest dancers swirl, to depths beneath this known and mortal world, I sense a rhythm pulsing deep inside, a beat that moves beyond my form and pride. The bond that links each cell from birth to breath unites me with the life that conquers death. I feel this force extend from me to all, a rising thread that answers every call. Each atom holds a map of time's grand scheme, each quark a note within creation's theme. That tells creation's long and winding tale, through coding finer than the finest veil. As stars converge, I feel them in my chest. A force unseen draws all things into rest. The universe collapses calm and vast, no blazing light, just shadows that are cast. And in this silent dark, a truth reveals, a peace that every boundlessness conceals. What once was vast becomes itself alone, and I, within, become both all and none. I feel my lines dissolve, my form unmade, a circle shattered into stardust laid. 9. Cosmic expansion. Finite no more, I drift through endless space, my atoms scattered, free from time's embrace. Where once stood borders, cosmic currents flow. Quarks, neutrinos, light in ceaseless show. Released from measure to the void's expanse, I join with nebulae in silent dance. Within these points of light that dance and spin, I sense all stories that have ever been. Each atom holds a tale of fire and night, of stars that died to birth the morning light. These dances in my flesh contain the code of all the forms that life has ever showed, as if each point of matter could retain the memory of glory and of pain, the chain of being that the sages taught, transforms to something grander than their thought. A flowing river through the depths of time, where all forms merge in one design sublime, no longer fixed in hierarchies neat, but flowing, changing, making life complete. Each creature's form contains a sacred trace of journeys through deep time and endless space. What Pliny knew, what Aristotle saw, opens to reveal a greater law. A tale of transformation, vast and deep, that all flesh holds in memories it keeps. I sense the forms beyond what scrolls describe. Each creature joined in one unbroken tribe. The fish that glide through timeless waters deep. The shells whose forms eternal secrets keep, each bearing patterns that transcend design, that echo in these measured limbs of mine. The lizard, basking in the morning sun, reflects the dance of life that makes us one. The forms once studied now dissolve away, revealing truths that ancient eyes betray. 10. Echoes through time. As patterns of creation clear my sight, I hear the chants that pierce eternal night. The sacred hymns from temples long decayed, where human hearts their first devotions made. These echoes rise through time's transparent veil, where ancient voices tell their timeless tale, each prayer and psalm still burning bright and clear, as if the past were always now and here. The present pulses, piercing through the past, while stellar songs soar, shimmering and vast, their fears and triumphs coursing in my veins, their fleeting joys, the shadows of their pains. From countless epochs, every age and strife, I feel their hopes, their grief, their love of life. I am their timeless echoes, bound in mind. The living sum of all mankind combined. Each voice I hear contains 1,000 more. Each memory opens like a closing door. To show more rooms of time than thought can hold, more lives than any single heart could fold, into its chambers. Yet somehow I find these multitudes fit wholly in my mind, as if in losing what I thought was me, I gained the gift of all humanity. The stories blur and blend like mixing streams that flow together in the river of dreams, where every drop contains the ocean's roar, and every wave remembers every shore, until the boundaries between then and now, between the many and the one somehow, dissolve like mist when morning claims the air, leaving only soft light and wonder there. These memories of humanity's long dance begin to blur to form a deeper resonance. The stories etched in time's historic scroll dissolve into a vast collective soul. 11th. The paradox of being. The measured man who stood in Roman light now feels the pulse of stars through endless night. All heritage that flows through mortal veins expands to touch what boundless space contains. The past and present merge within my mind. Both doubt and certainty now intertwined, no longer bound by angles, lines, and arcs. I feel the warmth of distant hearth and sparks, the laughter carried on the cosmic wind, the tears of strangers somehow kin and kinned. The vivid throb of life, so fierce and real, a spark within, no shadow dares conceal. I sense the beat of hearts beyond my own, a symphony of lives I've always known. Yet as I soar, a question shadows flight. Is all I sense illusion's fleeting sight? A dream unchained yet bound within the night? Am I still caught within the circle's hold, my freedom but a vision softly told? The vast expanse that stretches past my form might be a trick, a calm before the storm. I float through stars, yet cannot help but feel that what I know as real may not be real. Certainty, like glass too thin, may break, reflecting thousandfold the doubts we make. What if the universe I see and sense is but reflection, nothing more immense? Does this grandeur lie deep within or out, or is this vision forged from deepest doubt? I seek an answer, something firm to hold, yet find that truth eludes, too vast, too cold. Perhaps I am the question, not reply, the space between the earth and arching sky. The compass points that first described my frame now trace new circles, different yet the same. Each radius extends through space and time, to touch both doubt and certainty, sublime. Where once the golden ratio held sway, its spiral now curves forth a different way, through questions deep as space, through thoughts unclear, until the center everywhere appears, the square that bound my mortal flesh so tight. Now builds new temples in eternal night, its angles, opening past the master's art, show how containment sets all things apart. For in geometry's eternal dance, each limit holds unlimited expanse. The more precisely drawn the boundary line, the more it shows the boundless by design. See how the points of intersection glow, where line meets curve in paths we cannot know. Like doubt touching faith, like fear meeting grace. Like finite time in infinite embrace, these markers on my geometric soul. Now chart the map of knowing's greater whole, where point of each measured hesitation becomes a star of new illumination, the symmetry that shaped my balanced form. Now mirrors truths that reason can't transform, for every question echoing through space, an answering mystery fills its place. The perfect ratios that held me bound show how each doubt by wonder must be crowned. For in this geometric dance divine, uncertainty and truth must intertwine, each theorem's proof, each axiom's silent might. reveals more questions than the dark of night. The more we measure, map, and seek to know, the more the mystery seems to grow. Yet in this dance of doubt and certainty, a deeper wisdom starts to set us free. For truth lives not in answers carved in stone, but in the questions that we make our own. The stars themselves seem pulsing in my veins. Each spark within me and every vast domain, I feel them fold my finite form in grace, a universe alive in silent space. Their ancient gleam, a watchful, steadfast sight, reflecting back the truths I hold in light. I sense both smallness, vastness intertwined, a single breath where cosmos meets the mind. 12. The synthesis. Yet in this void where doubt and truth entwine, I find a path that neither can define. For even if these stars are shadows cast, the love I felt within remains steadfast. I reach for stars with trembling open hand, feel their warmth like ember's gentle brand. Faced with a choice, a hollow, empty view, or richness felt, I choose what feels most true. I grasp the paradox, embrace the flame, that knowing less may be wisdom's true claim. For doubt, like darkness, lets the stars unfold, and from uncertainty my spirit grows bold. The line between illusion and design matters less than the beauty I divine. If doubt must linger, let it walk beside, a humble guest, not one I need to hide. The force that bound now breaks and burns and soars through endless space where spirit spreads and pours. No longer am I bound to earth's own scale, my essence free, unmoored from any veil. From atoms' dance to galaxies' vast sprawl, I am both infinitely large and small. A truth that echoes, silently revealed, both everything and nothing, unconcealed. I feel my flesh flow far beyond the flame, where stellar streams surge past all mortal name. I leave behind the circle's finite bounds, to touch the universe where love resounds. Now in this vast eternal dance I turn, a spark among the stars that spin and burn, a moment's brightness through the cosmic flow, a spark of mind that starts itself to know. Its fleeting glow within the endless night, its part in making darkness bloom with light. Though fleeting, still my trace shall linger on, a ripple merging where the stars are drawn. 13. Apotheosis and return. The cosmos turns me back through spiraled flight, to view again what first began my plight. The circle and the square, which once confined, my measured form with boundaries well defined. I sense again the youth's once haunting gaze, now mirrored in each star's eternal blaze. The master's ink that once confined my form now writes in constellations vast and warm. I gaze upon these shapes with fresh-born sight, no longer prison walls, but forms of light. That gave me being, structure, place to start. The journey that awakened mind and heart. For in these bounds that seem to hold me fast, the seeds of freedom always living last. The compass draws its circle, clean and true, creating space wherein all dreams break through. The ruler marks its square with angles right, offering contrast needed for true sight. For how would I have known the boundless deep, if boundaries first had not shown what to keep? The paradox resolves in wisdom's peace. True freedom's not the absence of all crease, but recognition of how limits yield, the very tension that makes growth unsealed. Each line the master drew with steady hand, contained within it all that I became. The fixed proportions, golden means design, held latent all these journeys, yours and mine. For limitation is creation's art, the frame that gives the canvas room to start. The white page needs its edges, clean and set, for ink to find the patterns we beget. For having touched the stars' eternal fire, I bring their light to shapes that now inspire. New geometries beyond the master's dream, where cosmic truth and human vision gleam. The circle's edge, once boundary, now appears. A doorway opening to endless spheres, while still containing all that gives me form. The finite vessel where the infinite is born. I stand again within Vitruvian form, yet changed by cosmic fire, transformed, reborn. The circle holds me, yet I hold it too. Co-creator of the measured view. My fingertips, which once just touched the round, now trace new circles on uncertain ground. My stretched limbs, once displaying perfect span, now dance in rhythms no fixed rule can plan. I am both bound and boundless, large and small, both measured part and immeasurable all. The circle's edge becomes not wall, but door, through which I pass, returning evermore. For having touched the stars' eternal fire, I bring their light to shapes that now inspire. New forms, new measures, born of conscious choice. A bounded freedom speaking with new voice. The master's ink still flows within my veins, but now I hold the quill that fate ordains. Da Vinci dreamed me into being's start. I dream myself anew with conscious art. What once was fixed by ancient rule and line, now breathes with life that's neither yours nor mine, but born where limitation meets the vast, where future grows from seeds within the past. Vitruvian man, unbound yet ever bound, in endless dance where form and freedom sound. Their harmony through cosmos's deepest night, in finite measure, infinite delight.